How do you define success? What does failure look like to you? In today's video, I'm going to recap my Georgia death race, a notoriously difficult 74-ish mile ultramarathon in North Georgia, known for 16,000 feet of vertical gain, a low finish rate, and mandatory carrying of a 1-pound railroad spike that symbolizes burdens. By the end of this video, you can let me know, was this race a success, a failure, or something completely different? But first, let's go back to the beginning. See, after wrapping up my 40-hour race at the Tennessee Mile in December, I shifted gears to my next training block. I prepared myself for a long, dark, and cold winter, as I have done so many times the previous 6 years. I've recapped my training block in previous videos, but let's just say the winter sucked. It sucked hard. Temperatures that even this Michigander was not used to. I battled through a small depression that came out of nowhere and with no explanation. But I peaked well though. A 100-mile training week with consistent mental exercises through daily cold plunges. 100 miles, baby. 100 miles. 100 miles, yes. I needed this win. I needed this. Was I prepared as I wanted to be? No. Was it a great training block? Not by any means. But I was going into this race with a ton more experience. In my previous video, I wrapped up the peak training of this block. And this takes me to the next chapter, this video, the taper and ultimately the race. A typical long distance training block is wrapped up with what most runners refer to as a taper, a chance to rest the body before a big race. Monday I lifted but I didn't run. I intentionally took the day off of running. And then I decided that yesterday, Tuesday, I was also going to take an extra day off of running. So tonight, I'm going to get some more miles in, just some easy taper miles. Some have a hard time during this phase. They get antsy, work themselves too hard, right up to the point of the race. They do this out of fear they are going to lose fitness. That's not me. I love the taper. I get some time to step away from the hours of running and just mentally unwind. I also love preparing my gear. It seems silly, but I love getting everything packed. I love the idea of a race pack. You know, all the gear that goes into it, the organization of it. That's just me. I don't know. I even bought myself a new crew toolbox, primarily for, well, my crew, but I just love knowing that everything is in order and in the right place. Race weekend is finally here. The long road trip from Michigan to Georgia was a great chance to step away from the noise of my day job. All right, everything is packed and we are on our way down to Georgia. It is a 10-hour drive from Michigan where I'm at here. And I brought my faithful companion, Larry. The man.
The myth, the legend.
The myth, the legend. Old reliable.
Let's do this.
Let's go. You know, I wish I had captured more moments with Larry, but frankly, he hates the camera. He is a fascinating human being, either saying something that makes you cringe, laugh, or think deeply. He's also been turning into one of those Allstate commercial parents. If you know what I'm talking about, let's just say that we started to keep track of those on the way down, and he easily had 10 or more of those moments. That made for a great time going down. As a new YouTuber, this is the part of the video I had hoped to be proud of, to capture, to show how hard work, consistency, and mental growth through cold plunging would result in me capturing at least one of my goals, and that is beating my 2023 time, be in the top 10, or maybe even in the podium. But let's not ruin the surprise. Heck, you've came this far in the video, might as well keep going, right? After a few nights stay in our beautiful Airbnb just 2 miles from the start line, a few cold plunges in the bathtub, I towed the line in Blairsville, Georgia, near Vogel State Park. No crew at the start line, no room to park. They have a kiss and drop off policy. Fortunately, Larry didn't lean in for a kiss. Thank goodness. It's race morning. We're here.
All right, listen up. Thank y'all for being out here. My name is Sean Blayden. I'm the race director and owner of Run Bum Races. Let us know that you guys are okay, you gals are okay, that you're not dead in the woods, and we should be looking for you.
The point-to-point race kicks off at 5 a.m., beginning with a brief road section before entering the trail system.
Guys, we're going to get started here in about 90 seconds.
I was excited, yet calm. I felt prepared. With the beginning downhill road section, the lead pack always starts off fast, and they did here as well.
Victor Mariano, who helped our live timing with this, trail work. He passed away last year, lost his bout to cancer. Last thing he said, you make sure those people at GDR feel like shit.
But this year, I would let a good 20% of the pack get out in front, and I was focused on keeping my heart rate down. The first major climb of the Georgia Death Race is the ascent up Coosa, which gains approximately 2,200 to 2,300 feet over 3.8 to 4.2 miles. This is a significant climb this early in an ultra race. As we wrap up the short road run, entering the mountains, the race director reminds us, you won't win the race this early, but you could certainly lose it.
Let's
go, buddy. First climb. The climb was steady. It felt easy. It was cold, but not too cold. Not Michigan cold, but boy was it windy. Runners who started the race with no windbreaker on, well, soon after they put it on. I slowly worked my way up the pack, never pushing it too hard. I made my way quickly through aid stations while also staying on top of fueling.
Four seven.
225. Thank you very much.
All right, you're very welcome.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
You volunteers are the best.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. If you are new to ultra running, do not underestimate the importance of fueling. I'm not just talking about water and electrolytes. I'm also talking about carbs, calories. You absolutely need those in later stages of a long distance race. The darkness, the wind, the cold, it eventually turned into a perfect morning. A little bit of a push here. Feeling pretty good. Mile 11.47. All systems go. There were a few absolutely breathtaking moments on top of those mountains. Look at this. Just freaking gorgeous. How beautiful this is. Amazing. Amazing. 13.7. Still doing well. Doing a few pushes. And right on cue, as I so often do, I followed a runner off course. I should mention that I did get off trail for about a half mile. Maybe not even that. I followed somebody who got off course. The trail split into a Y, and the part that you weren't supposed to go on, the tape that was blocking it was torn down. So the guy in front of me didn't see it, and then I didn't see it either. Another guy behind me also followed. But we quickly corrected ourselves, got back on trail. Not like we lost much ground, but it's really only the negative thing going on so far. If I had to guess, top 25 maybe. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Haven't seen Larry yet. Larry should be at the next aid station. Had two of them so far. And I just, besides the big climb to start the race, just went up a smaller climb, but it was really steep, and it was a major capper. Even the guy behind me that then passed me made some comment about how it was a leg burner. Got through it because it wasn't too long. I think we're going to be going into more of a downhill section for a while. Bit flat right now, so that's kind of nice. Out of the 300 or so runners in the race, I likely started around the 50 spot. By mile 18, I had carefully cut that in half. Then something happened. The knee that I had injured last year decided to yell at me. Last year I dodged a bullet, but it never fully recovered. I never had it looked at, but the pain, at least while running, it did go away. Over the last year, it only presented itself when the knee was fully bent, kind of like a deep squat. The injury could be a number of things, so I won't even speculate what it is. Bottom line, it became a problem while running in this race. Maybe the technical moments on the trail inflamed it, I'm not sure. Normally I could care less. The pain level was like a 5 out of 10. Not bad, but it was obvious, it was there. But knowing my A race, the mid-state mile race, that was next up in June. I was very aware of its presence and what it would mean if I really injured myself ahead of that race. One of the regrets I had from the Georgia Death Race is not capturing more of these next few moments, these next few hours on camera. I would see my official crew, Larry, for the first time at mile 21, an aid station called Skeena Gap. My mind was battling with what to do about the knee. At this point, my mentality was just not give this pain a voice. Execute and work through it. I didn't say a word to Larry about it, but I think he got the sense that something might be wrong. I came into that aid station likely around 23rd place. I did take a few minutes longer than I would have liked, then headed back out. Well, I saw Larry not that long ago at a crew aid station. About 25 miles in. On the way down to see Larry, I tweaked my knee, the same knee that I injured about a year ago, and it doesn't feel very good. So I'm really putting a lot of thought into whether to keep going or not, because, well, it hurts, and trying to find balance between pushing through and saving my knee for a mid-state mile. So we'll see. We're gonna reevaluate at the next aid station and make a decision there. Not the greatest of news. It was at this point of the race that I worked through the decision. Face risking a larger knee injury and see how well I could do, or DNF. Keep in mind, up to this point, I have run multiple 100-mile races and have yet to not finish one. Well, with the exception of a last man standing race, where essentially you DNF if you are not the last runner standing. I entered the Point Bravo aid station after running around 28 miles. I told Larry what was going on at this point. I needed 5 minutes to make a decision. Then ultimately, I made it. I had to do the walk of shame. Whew. I pulled out of the race. It was humbling. Again, I apologize I didn't capture more of these moments on film. I was so caught up in my decision that I couldn't think about the camera. And hopefully I get better and won't let you, the viewer, down in future videos. Bottom line, I wasn't a finisher. And even though there are a lot of DNFs in a race like this, I'm not happy about it. But I'm also not mad. I think I made the right decision. Okay, so what came after? Well, after any long distance race, you are usually sore. I just got back from the Georgia Death Race. I didn't finish. I stopped at about 28 miles. The knee started bothering me to a point where I just decided to pull the plug and play it safe. I'd be lying if I didn't say that that wasn't a hard decision to make. A lot of what I've been trying to work through is quitting or not giving 100% when I'm tired and exhausted. And I was feeling pretty good, but certainly I was at a point in the race where things were starting to get tough. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't just having a cop-out. I wanted to make sure I wasn't giving in just because something felt a little sore. With the knee, you got to be extra careful and you got to think about it. My muscles are, of course, sore today. I did a lot of climbing for those first 28 miles. The last few years, soreness usually subsides for me after 24 to 48 hours. Strangely, my quads were on fire for 5 days. It is now Tuesday. Oh no, sorry, it's Monday, after the race that I started on Saturday that I did not finish. And while my knee has been doing great, my quads are destroyed. They have not felt like they normally do after a long race like this. I have noticed in recent races that I have recovered really fast. Yeah, I'm always sore after a long race. You know, there's always some soreness, but my quads are really sore. And I think that's just, it just tells me that I didn't do nearly the amount of vertical descent that I needed to be successful. So if I had gotten 50, 60 miles into the race, I think there's a good chance I would have really struggled with the descending. So I'm not saying it's a blessing that I had a knee injury. I'm just saying, like, while that pulled me out of the race, I may have not done well anyways. This exposed an area of weakness in my winter training, something I was well aware of, but was hopeful that it didn't become a problem. I spent way too much time on the treadmill during the winter months. Even with my treadmill being able to go up to 40% grade, it doesn't allow for the descent, not by much. And without it, the downhills can crush your quads. So let this be a reminder to you. Don't be overconfident in your year-over-year training and hope that you can take some shortcuts in your training block. So now what? I'm taking a full week to recover, both physically and mentally. Then back to training for the Mid-State Mile. My 5th attempt to be the last one standing. Was this race a failure? Am I a failure? The dictionary defines failure as a lack of success. So, am I a failure? No. Was this race a failure? I think so. That doesn't mean I didn't try hard in the race itself. It doesn't mean I didn't train hard. But the race, well, to me, this may sound harsh, but I see a DNF in the same way as I do withdrawing from a college course to avoid the bad grade. To me, they are the same. Maybe I'm too hard on myself. Maybe it's because I'm Gen X. I like to call it like I see it. Am I going to let this define me going forward? Heck no. I'm motivated more than ever. It's time to get back to work. Mid-State Mile training block is here. Hopefully you are getting something out of these videos, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Sincerely, I do. Please leave a comment and let me know if you'd had a similar fail and how you handle it, in a race or otherwise. Hopefully together we can stay hungry, stay competitive, and grow in body, soul, and spirit through this journey together. Now enough with this race. I'm flushing this one down the toilet. Let's get back to work.